take the stems off and peel the skin, the blackened skin off of them, and then just dump them in the blender because I'm going to blend it all up into a chili puree that goes into several parts of the dish. Okay, first I take a cup and 3/4 of cake flour and 2 teaspoons of baking powder and sift those together and just set it aside for now. And then the next step is to separate 6 eggs. You're going to need both the whites and the yolks. You need to separate the eggs before you can get started. Yolks in this white bowl, and as I get the whites, I'll dump them into the big mixing bowl. So I've got my egg whites in the mixer, and I've got the whisk attachment, and I'm going to start whipping up the egg whites until soft peaks form. So once the soft peaks form, I've got my 1.5 cups of sugar, and I just gradually add that. And I'm going to mix that together until stiff peaks form. About halfway through, I'm going to turn it off, scrape the sides, and then turn it back on again to make sure everything's incorporated. You add the egg yolks one at a time, let it thoroughly mix before you add the next one. And get that all mixed up. If you need to, get the spatula and scrape the sides of the bowl again. Then the next step is you add this is the sifted flour and powder mixture, and then 1/2 cup of milk and about 1/2 cup to 3/4 cup of hot hatch puree, and you just alternate adding these in as the mixer is running. So what I've got here is a silicone muffin tin. I found that works better because the cupcakes come out a little cleaner. I've got it on a cookie sheet to give it some stability. This is my batter, and what I like to do is I use a soup ladle and fill each muffin space about 2/3 full. You don't want to use muffin cups for this because you're going to be soaking it in the tres leches, and a muffin cup would just get in the way. So that's why I like to use a silicone muffin mold. So I've got my muffin tin filled, the excess all wiped off. I had my oven preheated to 350, and I'm going to pop them in there and let them bake for 20 to 25 minutes until they're golden brown. And over in the stove, the raspberry coulis is cooking down, as well as the chili syrup. Bruce is taking care of those. Alright, so the chili syrup is done, and what Bruce is doing is he's pouring the pecans into the chili syrup to coat them. He's going to stir them around a little bit. You can see on his right the coulis is still going. And he's going to get them good and coated, and he's going to let them cook in there for a little bit. Then he's going to turn them out onto the still pat, baking mat, and we're going to bake them in the oven for a little while. Okay, Bruce let those cook for 4 or 5 minutes until he could smell the nuttiness, and now he's just laying them out on a silpat, and we'll pop them in the oven, let them cook for a little while. You've got to watch these real closely because the difference between cooked nuts and burned nuts is very, very small. And yeah, we're going to put some New Mexico chili powder, sprinkle that over the top also. Next, I've got my icing. What we've got here is 1 cup of ricotta, 8 ounces of mascarpone, sorry. This is about 1/2 cup of hot hatch chili puree. We've got 2 tablespoons here of hot New Mexico chili powder, and 1/2 cup of sugar. And to make the icing, basically you dump everything in, mix it up. Make sure you get it all mixed up, scrape the sides, and then chill it for at least an hour. I'm going to chill mine overnight. When I assemble the cupcakes tomorrow, I'll take it out about an hour beforehand so it loosens up enough to pipe onto the cupcakes. Here goes the ricotta. Mascarpone. Chili puree. All right, now I'm going to make the tres leches for the cupcakes to soak in. What I have here is a cup of cream. So I'm just going to pour that in. I've got a cup and a half of the hot hatch chili puree. You need a lot of this because with all the fat in the 3 milks, you need a lot of the hatch puree to come through. I've got a can of evaporated milk and a can of sweetened condensed milk. And I need a spatula to get all that goodness out of there. All right, it's been a little over 25 minutes. These have puffed up nicely. They're nice and golden brown. We're gonna take them out of the oven. We're gonna cool them completely, and then we'll turn them out of the muffin form and do the next step after that. And now that the cupcakes are cool, I'm just gonna take the soap and I'm gonna pour it all over the cupcakes. All gone. And I'm gonna flip them each a couple of times just to make sure they're all swimming all nice and happy. And then I'm gonna take these and put them in the refrigerator overnight, at least 4 hours, but overnight's okay. And I'm gonna flip them once, and when they've soaked and are very happy after a while, I will take them out and that will be the next step. After the cupcakes have soaked, carefully remove them from the liquid and place them onto a draining rig for at least 15 minutes. Reserve the soaking liquid for presentation if you'd like. After that, then apply the icing and pecans, drizzle on the coulis, and enjoy.